Hi everyone, welcome back to Danabelle Reads Poetry, the show where I read you poetry. On this episode, we are reading not just one, not just two, but three women of color poets who you will have the privilege of seeing at this edition of Emirates Lit Fest that's gonna be starting tomorrow. I'm so excited. Who do we start with? Let's start with Tishani Doshi. A few episodes ago, I've actually read from her previous book. And today, we are going to be reading Tiger Woman. After a 19th century Mughal painting of two men in pursuit of a tiger woman. No one writes poems for the handsome sidekick, who barely makes the frame, there to collect his master's clothes by the river. He has seen those creamy, solid thighs 1,000 times, knows what lies behind the shrubs of pink, body bags, flies. You would rather hear about the woman, the chimera beneath. You want to know what the air was like that febrile day, how the sun crafted a way to shine upon her fan of hair. I understand you would rather talk about the things only you can see. The tiger paws, the tail, a body transformed underwater. But if you listen to the sidekick, he can tell you why all the old cities made fortresses of themselves. How those soft green mounds evocative of breasts should have been painted as ruined blocks of apartments instead. You do not get to have an empire without squashing someone else. Lean in and he will tell you how the summer hunts are so frequent. Even the heap of muslin on the bank is overcome with sweat. Even the cicadas who are sawing the afternoon in half seem to be signaling a threat. On this occasion, the tiger woman escapes, but the sidekick knows. Eventually, the body fails. How many times has he found himself dreaming of bird feet and a plumed tail? Some way to take flight. You see, the river is sweet and brims with carp, but the water's edge is skin, stained with curses and blood sacrifices. In one part of the world, something is always blooming. No amount of washing takes the smell off him. That was beautiful. That was Tiger Woman by Tishani Doshi from her book, A God at the Door. Next up, we've got, I'm so excited about this one. So, Filipino literature is not readily available where I am. So last year in Sharjah Book Fair, I was so excited when I saw the Philippine book stall. And I got this and a few other books. And at this year's Lit Fest, we've got more Filipino authors, and I'm so excited. I'm reading from College Boy by Mookie Katigbak-Lacuesta. This poem is called I Am Too Close to See Him. It starts with an epigraph by Wisława Szymborska that goes, I am too close for him to see me. Closer to me is a fire exit in New York City. I'm 21 in graduate school, pushing smoke outward into the city, into small peels of stars that are mapping me out, skin and bone, into a human constellation. Closer to me is a dog in Hong Kong, neutered in its prime and then reverse engineered to know desire past its age of heat. Closer to me is a love poem by Yeats, read at 17 and trembled to. In that midnight dark, closer to me are the 1,000 conspiracies that led me to him. All the false boys with the sloppy hands who did not let me drive their cars. I am gentler to strangers whose odd misfortunes burn my shirts on the iron. Let me leave my stove on. I am to him part star and part misfortune. When you were 9, you'd feared the end of the world, and those were my hands that stroked your hair. You still wake sometimes from that dream. You are far away, but already I am holding you close as a heave to a rib. So your breath breaks my bone. I am so close. Hold on. I am so close. God, that was so tender. That was I Am Too Close to See Him by Mookie Katigbak-Lacuesta from College Boy. I am going to leave you with a poem by my very good friend, Zeina Hashem Beck. I'm actually moderating her session for O. Please come as we discuss her book. I'd say this is like my most favorite poem in the book. I have others, but I love this poem because of its last lines. The last lines remind me of my favorite poem of all time by Kim Adonisio. This poem is called Heirloom. I come from a line of women who describe flinging themselves into death, but don't. My grandmother always announced what she had swallowed, always demanded to be taken to the hospital, always asked for more doctors, which means my mother hasn't learned nothing gets fixed. By being broken over and over again, she keeps to the sea, baptizes herself in it all year, avoids altitudes. Once, driving around a mountain curve at sunset, she asked, "Don't you wish you could just drive straight into the belly of this valley?" I rent apartments on high floors, though I've seen my body plunge. I stood on the other side of the railing twice. This scares me. I used to disappear into the closet for afternoons. My grandmother's been aging beneath her blanket for decades. My mother hid in the bathroom and thought I didn't notice. Once, in a fit of rage, she stirred a divine scent on the stove and carried it to her sick mother, came back with an antique vase from her parents' house, and placed it in the glass cabinet, engraved, throne-like. One day, I will carry that. I used to knock over the bottles and boxes on the dresser with the back of my hand. This scares me too. Now I walk down the street and pray for the music. When I told my husband, if you listen close enough, everything's dancing. Try to guess the songs, he laughed. But I'm telling you, beauty always comes. You hear me? It always comes. Okay, that got me emotional a little bit. That was Heirloom from Zeina Hashem Beck's book, Oh. So that is today's episode. We've got 3 women. Please come see them at the Lit Fest. I'm linking you down below to all of their events. Come to one, come to all of them. We're looking forward to seeing you. And I'll see you on the next episode. Mwah! Bye.